Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So do us a favor, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications, and of course, upvote the video as well as comment down below. We'd appreciate it very much. So for the last 25 years, roughly, maybe even a little longer than that, one of the ways that fans have been able to gather and meet are the message board. Fantastic avenue for fans to where you can meet all kinds of different people. You can get news updates right there. It is a really good thing. Or, well, it's supposed to be. When I was at Rivals.com, and this was probably 15 years ago at this point, give or take, they've let us know, because I worked in the video department and we were all having like a general Rivals type training. And this was a recruiting service, and you would think recruiting would be the number one avenue based on that site, but it wasn't. Video was not as well, even though we did video. It was the message board. It was something that they made a conscious effort to protect at all cost. That message board was a way to trap people and get them to come back. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that as a way that is a reason that viewers stay on the site and stay on the page. It's sticky, I think is the way they put it. The message boards are sticky because they all want to see what everybody has to say. So I say that to say this. In 25 years, opposing fan bases have figured out how to use the free trial system, and some of which actually pay for the right to do this, an avenue to sow discontent on those message boards and try and affect the mood of the other side. And one team is not greater than the other. They all do it. But the problem with it is kind of the reason it was so great in 1998, in 2005, is not the reason it's there now. It's not the same place. Message boards have turned into one of the most toxic places on the internet. Whenever you hear about something bad going wrong, you often hear about message boards where they've been able to sow discontent. So message board for college teams have become places where fans of rival teams with an additional $10 lying around could join and sow that discontent. You've all seen it if you're on a message board. Ole Miss gets a commit. They immediately comes in and somebody tells you why that's not that big of a deal. Or why isn't this happening instead? And all of this goes on, but it never addresses why you should be happy about this commit. It has forged a way that negativity can permeate within a fan base and a small group of people. And this group of people are some of the most ecstatic fans on the net of your team and of the other team. It is where fanaticism resides. It has caused fans to be extreme sunshine people, the ones that no matter what happens, you're not allowed to say a single thing negative because they're so used to what's happening on the other side. So what you have is an extremely toxic place where conversation is not encouraged anymore. And because of that, you just have to deal with what is being said. You might go there for updates from the mods, but any chance of really having a conversation, that's dying. And because of that, message boards are dying. Because honestly, if something isn't fun, if you don't get enjoyment out of it, you are eventually going to quit coming. You're going to quit going because that's just the way things work. I mean, it just happens. And because of that, subscription sites are going down. Slowly but surely. Right now, they're the only place to get there. But eventually, 25 years ago, the main places that people were going were newspapers. Those died and people tried to figure out where to go. So as, in my opinion, subscription sites kind of slows down and kind of the model of coverage for college football teams slow down, you have a situation where free models. If you look at Ole Miss, just for instance, the Grove Report is a perfect example of a free model. They aggregate from all over the place. Anything that is news that comes out, they do an article on it and put it on there. So you can follow that and be completely up to date, honestly, without opinion, on everything that happens within Ole Miss football. Same thing happens with the Rebel Walk. Follow the Rebel Walk. It's a free source. They do the same type thing. And of course, the Locked On Network is a free source as well. Those three avenues allows you to stay current, allows you to stay up to date. And you don't have to worry about that message board type feeling where people have figured out analytically over a quarter of a century how to manipulate them to elicit the reaction they want to elicit. It's going to the point where people on message boards, they can virtue signal. They want to seem like a super fan and a big fan, they might be Johnny Positive guy, even though they don't believe a word of it. If they want to seem like they're super concerned about what's going on, maybe they're negative about most everything. And then, of course, you have the trolls on all sides that come in and just make that unbearable. It's become a place where opinion is not respected unless it is the opinion held by the loudest amount of the masses. It just is. Kind of is what it is. But anyway, yes, a toxic message board environment. And honestly, I mean, there's not much you can do about them at this point. Like I said, not talking about any message boards. This is all message boards. You can just talk about whatever you want to talk about. Those message boards are pretty much exactly alike. So take it for however you want to take it. So we're going to get out of here in just a second, but to recap today, we had Jamarian Sharp as a, quote, surprise visitor for Ole Miss basketball. We had Eddie Kelly get an offer from Ole Miss, and it was just really cool that he immediately followed me on Twitter. I wanted to talk about him as well. He's a super athletic, super big player that could be a nice fit on this defense. We'll see exactly where that goes. And we talked about message boards in What You Talking About, Willis. So should be pretty interesting now that the concert is over and we can get back to our regular scheduled program. Maybe people and things will start to take off as well. We are entering in the last week of the college football transfer portal window. So players that want to get in have to get in before April 30th. After that, they've stuck. If there's a player from an SEC school, they cannot transfer to Ole Miss and play immediately. Don't even think about it. Don't think about waivers. Just understand they're not coming to an SEC school. Pay attention to Big Ten type players, Group of Five type players. Those are the ones that you need to look at for football transfers before football season. And basketball-wise, honestly, how is Chris Beard going to build on this core? He's got a pretty nice core of players that he is developing. And how is he going to build on it? Because that is really what this year is going to be about. That is really the way you're going to be able to, honestly, take advantage of the portal. It's the second five players. So I'm interested to see, honestly, what's the first name that pops? That's not Jamarian Sharp, if he does, and it's not Brandon Murray. Who's next? And is he a graduate transfer similar to, I think, Tyler Perry? Or is he somebody with 3 years of eligibility like Austin Nunez? Those type questions I am extremely interested in. So it should be pretty cool. Anyway, sorry for the shortest show today. Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your listen every day. Every day or tomorrow on the show, we're going to try and find some interviews. We're going to try and find some angles to go after. With the way the baseball season is going at the moment, none of us are happy, but we are preparing as if the offseason is upon us. So we'll see what's going on, and like as this week goes, we'll start to transition into the offseason potentially. Kind of is what it is. Anyway, yeah, I use that phrase. Got a comment, please don't use is what it is, but yeah. Yeah, I almost made a full episode without saying it, and then I did it anyway. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow, you folks tomorrow, and I hope everybody has a good day, and hotty toddy. you.